All right, good evening. My name is Bob Connors. It's 6:01 p.m. I'd like to call the January 7th meeting of the Newbury Conservation Commission to order. Mason, can you please read the remote open meeting law preamble and take a roll call of members present? Welcome, Mary.
Hello. Oh, Diana's right.
Did we let everybody in?
Yeah, I think we have Mason,
in?
anyone in the waiting room?
Nope, no one else in the waiting room.
Just us. Oh, okay.
Oh, great.
Alrighty. As a
Awesome.
preliminary matter, this is Mason Ferret, Conservation Agent, the Newbury Conservation Commission, and I call the January 7th meeting to order and permit me to confirm that all members are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Mary Rimmer,
Yes.
TJ Conti,
Yes.
Mick Brown,
Yes.
Diane O'Brien,
Yes.
Woody Knight,
Yes.
Bob Connors,
Yes.
and Frank Wettenkamp.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. This open meeting of the Newbury Conservation Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings. And as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. For this meeting, the Newbury Conservation Commission is convening by video conference via Zoom, as posted on the agenda of the Newbury Conservation Town website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that attendees are participating by video conference. Meeting materials were provided to the board and committee members prior to meeting for review. Applicants or their representatives may be called upon to speak and or share information to the screen if able on the fly. We're now turning to the first item on the agenda, but before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. The chair will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your mic, use earbuds and earphones, and please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. Board and committee members should be called upon in a first name alphabetical order to ease the process. If board and committee members wish to engage with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. After board and committee members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment as follows. The chair will first seek questions through the chat function, and then the chair will seek questions from the public who wish to speak. They'll be asked to identify their names, address, and question. Once the chair has a list of all public commentators, they will call on each by name and afford 3 minutes for any comments. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote.
Okay, thank you, Mason. All right, welcome everyone. Upcoming meeting dates, January 21st and February 4th. Meeting minutes review. We have the December 17th, 2024 minutes in the Dropbox. Why don't we take a moment to look at those? See if we have any questions, concerns, or corrections.
I did have one comment.
Yes.
Under the Governor's Academy project, the vote, I think rather than saying the commission issued an order of conditions, just that we voted to issue an order of conditions.
Okay. Easy enough to take care of. All right, any other comments or corrections, team? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes for December 17th as amended with Mary's suggestion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, who was that, Woody?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, roll call. All in favor? Mary?
Yes.
TJ?
On
TJ,
mute.
you're on mute, too.
All right. I was not at that meeting.
Oh, okay, that's a very good point. Woody?
Yes.
Nick?
Second. Yep. Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
And Bob Connors votes yes. All right. Next order of business. We have a RDA for 13 Plumbush Downs. Applicant would like to replace existing deck and extend the deck out back and around the side of the property. Mason, did you mention that you'd received a updated site plan today on this?
Yeah, I believe I sent that over. I'm not sure if it went through, but updated site plans and then also additional information on the deck as well.
Okay, yeah, I didn't get that yet, or I get kind of back to my office late, so I didn't see it if you did send it. Can you put up the site plan?
Yep, I have those ready to go.
Maybe we could zoom in on that, that'd be great.
Mhm.
Okay, is the applicant on the line and does he want to make a presentation?
I'm here. Yep.
Okay, give us your name and address and then make your presentation.
Seamus Quirk, and the address is 13 Plumbush Downs. And so what I was looking to do here was extend the existing deck. So if you're looking at this site plan, you can see the small rectangle on the rear of the property. Yep, where the mouse is hovering over. Thank you. So that deck and the 2 steps down to the right of that is existing. So I just wanted to keep that same width of the deck, which I believe is about 8 feet, and extend it out to the corner and then wrap it around the side of the house there as well. So we had the, I know the commission wanted the wetlands setbacks and stuff staked out. So the flags that you see depicted here were the delineation for the wetland. And you can see the existing deck now. I think they have marked at about 14 feet from existing deck to the edge of the wetlands. So you can see kind of the proposed extension of the deck. The closest space or area, I guess I should say, to the wetland delineation is 15.5 feet. So we're not getting any closer to the wetland in that regards. And that's really it. I think there was a question about the type of footings to be used too. So initially I was going to do the precast concrete piers, but I think I'm actually gonna go with the helical pilings instead. I think it's a little bit less invasive of a process, digging in that area of concern. I believe the diameter of the helical is 9 inches and the depth of those is 7 feet. You know, and probably about I would imagine there'd be, 6 inches, maybe to a foot above grade before the bracket that connects to the beam for the deck, but that pretty much sums it up. Oh, there's the specs on the helical pilings there. I think there was a question about the type of machinery needed. I think it's just a mini excavator, and then like I said, it shouldn't make a hole more than about 9 inches in diameter where they're installed.
Okay, Mason, can you go back to the site plan? Okay, so Seamus, just trying to orientate myself here. Your
Yep.
driveway comes in on the right-hand side down here?
Correct.
Lower right-hand side, okay,
Yep.
okay. And the house is parallel to Plum Island Turnpike, as I recall, right?
Yeah, just about. Yep.
Okay. Okay, questions, Mary, questions for Seamus on this project?
Yeah, this is much more clear. Thank you.
Yeah, you're
I'm
welcome.
assuming that, can you tell me who did the delineation for you?
It is Seacamp Environmental, so
Okay.
Michael Seacamp.
Michael Seacamp, okay. In Mason, did you have a chance to review this delineation in the field?
I haven't. I just got this plan in today, so I haven't been back out to site with the updated flagging.
Yeah, the surveyor just got out there to ping these flags this morning, but there's about 12 pink ribbons out there. They're all still out there.
Right.
Tied if somebody wanted to go take a look at that.
Yeah, usually we get that, get new information a week ahead of the meeting, so we have time to review it at the meeting, or review it prior to the meeting. So that would be my only comment is, just to get eyeballs on it and make sure it makes sense. Can you tell me what the elevation is approximately of the deck above grade?
I think it sits about a foot or so above grade. So it's the same elevation as the existing deck that's there now. And it was only 2 steps down. It looks like in this rendering or site plan here, it depicts 3 steps, but it's really only 2 steps from the top of the deck down to grade. And that bottom step, as it is existing, probably sits into the grade about 3 inches or so. So it's really only about a foot or so.
Yeah. Okay. And when were you anticipating building this?
Hopefully over the next couple of weeks.
My only comment, Bob, is just, would be preferable if someone had a chance to review the delineation, because this will probably be the plan of record in the future if anything else is proposed at this house.
Okay.
So that's my only comment.
So Mary, the question, I think it's a very good point. Depending on which direction we go on this, could we consider this as subject to verification of a flagging to the plan by the agent? Would that, or you want to schedule a site meeting, or just, what's your thoughts?
Well, I guess, that same thought ran through my head. The only problem is if there is a change, then you've changed the plan that's being approved, so it would have to come back. So if,
Sorry, so you just want to verify that this
Correct.
delineation is per
Yeah, that's
the
typically
plan?
what we would do, and I know that you paid Camp to do the delineation, and it's probably fine. It's just because you may come back and propose something a little bit more substantial at some point in the future, and if it's within 3 years, we may be bound by this delineation, so just want to make sure it's accurate.
Sure.
And Mason hasn't had a chance to look at it yet. I know it's really flat in that area, and there are, the location of the salt marsh is
Pretty well defined.
There's some judgment involved in where that
Right.
occurs in some of these areas. So
Okay, I'll
those are the
circle
only
back.
comments. Thank you.
TJ, any comments on this?
No, nothing further. Nope.
Okay, Woody, what are your thoughts on this?
No comments, Bob. I'm good, thank you.
Okay, Mick, how about yourself?
All set, Bob. Thank you.
Diane, any comments?
You say it's about a foot off the ground underneath there where you're going to be putting the deck over it. I assume that that's already lawn or developed of some sort. There's nothing growing there, right?
No, it's all yard space. So Mason, sorry if you don't mind bringing that site plan back up.
Yep.
It's all yard space currently. The wetland delineation kind of follows the fence, except for a couple areas. Those small squares are a fence around the property. So basically you can see kind of the vegetation along that edge, and then everything inside of that depicted fence area is all grass and yard space.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Frank, any questions?
Yeah, I have a question on erosion and sediment controls. Do you have any in place? Because I see that the building is under construction.
Not currently, no.
Wouldn't we want to issue an order of conditions that those be included?
I think if, there's no site work being done right now, Frank, as I recall, because I drive by it every day. Um, So it wouldn't seem, you're working on a building permit right now, Seamus, correct?
Correct, yeah, and there is no site work
Being
proposed right now.
underway right now.
Yep,
So with the helicals, Frank, if we head in that direction, that we could simply have him request that he does that at that time. Because then
Okay.
he would be doing something on site that could disturb existing vegetation. Although it's pretty, it's pretty inconspicuous. It's not that invasive at all to put in the helicals. All
Okay.
right.
That's my comment.
So Seamus, let me ask you a question.
yep.
If this got kicked to the next meeting, which is in 2 weeks, is that going to be a big issue for you? That gives us a chance to know what it is that, to Mary's point, the plan comes in, we try to do a site visit before the meeting, either by the agent or by a member, where it came in the day of, we haven't had a chance to do that. And that's our typical protocol.
Mhm.
So in that case, we usually just request a site visit before we make a determination. And that would kick you down to the next meeting on the 21st.
Okay, it affects a couple of things. I mean, obviously, it is what it is. From my perspective, every day that passes by, the ground is freezing more and more. So that could pose an issue with getting those helical piles in. And also, one thing that I'm actively working on is getting the trim and the siding back on the house. So that's, the outcome of this is going to determine where I am able to place my ledger board for that deck to allow me to reside the property,
Okay. All right. Do any members have a request for a site visit or additional information?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
sure.
you want to do a site visit, Mary, or have Mason do a site visit?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Any other additional information that's going to be required?
I just have a question, Bob.
Yeah, go ahead, Diane.
Don't we usually, when we get these delineations, aren't they usually stamped or they're on a plan, so they're kind of verified already?
Looks
Usually?
like there is a stamp on this plan if by the
Oh, okay, I
surveyor.
haven't, I
It's
didn't
just
see
blown
it.
up, so the stamp doesn't show.
Yeah, could
Okay.
you
That's
shrink
fine,
that
that's all
back
I
down?
wanted.
Shrink it back down, Mason, so we can see the stamp?
Okay,
It's up there on the top.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
okay, didn't see it.
Yeah, again, Seamus, it's the time your plan came in.
Mhm.
Normally, we don't accept documents the day of a hearing. Our guidelines are, we're supposed to get everything a week before the hearing.
Understood. Yeah,
So-
my apologies.
Yeah, no,
uh,
listen,
Timing with the holidays, we all came down. We had that nice flu that lasted about 2 weeks, and then up against scheduling for the soil scientist as well as the engineering company. So
honestly, I'm amazed you're able to get the plot
Yeah, it was
plan,
pretty
the
fast,
site
yeah.
plan, and the wetland delineation done in 2 weeks.
I have a great team of people, so we were able to pull it off by the skin of our teeth here.
Yeah. All right, well, Mary has requested a site visit, so at this point, Seamus, we're going to continue this to our February 21st meeting.
January, I think you mean.
Excuse me, January 21st. I'm jumping ahead of myself.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so team, this, it's not a public hearing, so it doesn't require a motion to continue it. So Mason, why don't we just put this on the agenda for January 21st?
Mhm.
And if you can get out and just put some eyes on the flagging, just make sure everything, makes sense. I mean, that's our protocol, so.
Yep.
All right, Seamus, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Sorry about that. If the plan had come in a day earlier, we could have got out there. And,
Okay.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next matter is a RDA for 130 Northern Boulevard. Applicant wants to renovate their single-family home. by extending upward and adding a roof deck. Areas on the first floor will be deconstructed and the FAR will not increase once improvements are built. Mason, why don't you give me an overview on this?
Yeah, so we had earlier, maybe a month or so ago, we had closed out an old septic on this property, but this is a single family home renovation with no extension outside of the existing footprint. There's a couple areas on the first floor that are to be removed, and then the construction of a roof deck on the top floor. Like Bob said, the floor area ratio does not increase, and I was able to go out and do a survey, grab some pictures, which I can share now.
Did they give you a plan? I know that can you put the plan up on this? I know there were some elevations of the structure, but was there actually a site plan? Looks like it, let's wait in my pile here. Okay, is Mike Doyle on the call?
I don't see him in here.
Mason, can you expand that? I'm trying to read the footnotes on the blue area had proposed to be demo and relocated. To the second floor. Okay, slide over to the other note. Okay. All right, so the applicant is not on the call?
No, I don't think so.
All right, questions. What do we want to do? Mary, what are your thoughts on this?
From what I can tell, it's just going up, and so, but there's some demo
Correct.
as well in that blue area.
Yeah, this is the first floor area that's going to be demoed.
No, it's being eliminated, or is it just being opened up, or?
I think it's being eliminated.
So I guess, I would say that we would probably want a planting plan for the area that's being demoed and a statement from the building department per usual that the project meets doesn't require pilings because it's less than 50% of the value of the property.
It's interesting that the prices that these are going for, Mary, are over $1 million now. When they were going for 300,000 or 400,000.
It made a
So,
difference then, yeah.
Well, the lots were 300 and the house was, 150.
Yeah.
Now actually assessors are carrying more value in the house because if you've maxed out your footprint, that's where the value is, where if you don't have to expand. But
This is 130. Okay.
yeah, it's 130. It's right on Northern Boulevard. I'm not sure what the side street is there. we-
Looks like
We issued
41st Street.
we issued a certificate of compliance for an old order of conditions going back to it was the 90s or the 80s for a septic. But
Yeah, I just would want to see if it, native vegetation in the area that they're demolishing. It's outside of the flood zone, apparently.
Yep. All right, well, why don't we do this? Mason, why don't you get in contact with the applicant, tell him we need some additional information.
Yep.
If he has a plot plan showing the limits of erosion control or while he's taking this down, where he's going to store the materials or spoils. And planting would be a minimum of beach grass on a 12 by 12 grid.
I wouldn't think we'd need erosion control since it's on the island there, but
Well,
maybe a
no,
limit of work
yeah,
area.
limit of work,
yeah.
just because if he's actually going to be taking something down.
Yeah.
That would make more sense, so.
Mhm.
Anything else we want to add to this? And let me go around. TJ, what are your thoughts on that?
Um, if I'm looking at this picture, it looks like is the shaded area what's coming down with the fence around it? Or is it off to the back towards the beach eastward?
You can tell in the plan.
I didn't see the fence and I don't know if the fence is coming out as well or if the fence is
You know what,
staying or means anything.
TJ, let me see if Mason, do you have some pictures of the property?
Yep.
I think we look at the pictures, it may give us some clarity. You know, I'm wondering if it's demo and then rebuild in the same footprint, 2 stories, it would seem strange that. So that's Go back to the floor plan, Mason, if you could.
Looks like it was that last picture that's being demoed.
Yes, that they're clipping that, making the house back to rectangular rather than having that little L off the side.
Yeah,
And adding the square footage to the roof, the sloped roof overhead.
They've taken that off.
If you can go back to the actual floor plan. Yeah, that's what it looks like. And then if you
Yeah.
slide over to the right, or to your left, I guess. Yeah, they're adding whatever they're taking off on that side, they're raising, it looks like they're raising the roof.
Yeah.
On that shallow roof on the front, but,
that's
But
what it
we-
looks like. Okay, I'm good.
okay. Woody, questions?
No, I don't have any questions. What's been stated so far is what they should do sounds good to me.
Okay. Mick, any questions on this one?
Nope, also Bob, thanks.
Okay, Diane, any question?
No, I just wanted to be sure. So they're like relocating FAR, sort of. They're like, if they take off the front, because it looks like an entirely new house, but it's just, they're going to be putting it all on the top, right? So there's no outward expansion that I see, or like to Mary's point, if they, it seemed like it was an improvement almost because they're taking more off the ground.
Right, the
and
footprint's
opening it
being
up.
reduced, but it's not reducing the FAR.
Yeah, so they're reduced, okay.
But you know what, we're kind of guessing at what
I
they're
know.
trying to do, and I think if the applicant was here, and he had a site plan with an overlay of existing and proposed, then,
Yeah, I did have a question. I just have site plan with a question mark, so that was my notes on it, that there's no site
Okay.
plan as
There's
far
no
as.
site plan, so it's kind of hard to know what you're
Yeah.
approving.
well, you know, we think we know what we're talking about, but we're signing on for 3 years, so.
Mhm.
All right, thank you, Diane. Frank, any questions on this one?
I'm curious about something. Is it true that only 3 bedrooms are allowed in homes on Plum Island?
Well, the Plum Island Overlay District has it set up that If you have one bedroom, you can go to two. If you have two bedrooms, you can go to three. If you have four bedrooms, you can maintain what you have, but you can't add an additional bedroom.
I see. Okay.
That's my recollection of the PIOD.
Okay.
So,
No, I have no other questions.
okay, so Tim, I think Mason's going to contact the applicant. We need some additional information. He should be on the call to answer questions. And a site plan showing existing and the removal of the proposed demo. Some sort of fencing to limit the work area, and then a notation where it's disturbed that there's going to be some planting there, whether it's beach grass or something else. But that's kind of my recap of what we discussed. Anything else, guys? Did we miss anything on that?
The building inspector's note.
Okay. Yeah, and Mason, have you talked to Peter about that, getting the,
I believe he issued them a denial letter and now they are going in front of zoning, which is.
no, I think, but we've been asking him for a ruling on the 50/50 rule, where that the proposed construction isn't going to trigger the 50/50 rule.
I have not heard from him, but I can check in with him and circle back.
Okay. All right, so why don't we just continue this to our January 21st meeting as well. Okay. Enforcement orders, you know what? All these enforcement orders are current. They're followed. They're on the agenda just for reference. There's no action required on our part on any of these tonight. Okay, extension request, we have none. Certificates of compliance, we have none. Okay, first public hearing is DEP file number 0501-441, 55 Pearson Drive, Cricket Lane. Applicant is submitting a notice of intent for installing a subsurface sewage disposal system and raising and constructing a single-family home. The project and proposed installation are located only in the buffer zone or upland areas. The proposed leach field is 52 feet from the flagged wetland, complies with state Title V requirements. Mason, can you give us your review on this?
Yeah, so this is right next to the 40B that's in town, that's going through planning right now. It is a raise and rebuild of an existing house, surrounded by abutting ponds and wetlands in the back, which I can pull up the mass mapper and show. There was some existing erosion and sediment control issues happening at Cricket Lane, which is connected with this. So for a recommendation, I would just say that the commission put into place maybe an extra layer of erosion control on the backside of this property to prevent any further erosion issues. Besides that, the new house is proposed pretty much in the same footprint, but it is rotated slightly. And I believe the applicant is here to present as well.
Okay, Ben, if you give us your name, title, and give us your presentation.
Ben Osgood, Ranger Engineering Group. Here for 55 Pearson Drive. I think Mason summed it up. It's a septic system replacement and replace the house. The existing house is old, probably built in the 70s time frame. Hasn't been lived in a while, and it really isn't worth trying to renovate the house as it stands. So we're just going to raise it. It's build a new house. It's not too much bigger. It's more of a colonial style with the garage out the front. The septic system meets all of the offsets required by Title V. It's further than 50 feet by the wetland. And the house itself is about 50 feet, I think, at the closest corner. The deck extends a little bit closer than that. And we show the erosion control of 15, 16 feet out behind the, between the wetlands and the disturbed area. As you can see, the backyard is pretty much, it's cleared from the original construction. We don't anticipate any additional clearing. There may be some scrub brush and overgrowth from the fact that the lawn hasn't been cared for in a couple of years. There may be 1 or 2 large trees coming down around the septic system, but you know, they're all in tough shape. I know I saw a couple of dead ash out, you know, in the buffer zone, and they'll need to come down. But just a simple septic system and house replacement. Obviously, install the erosion control before we do anything.
Okay. All right, questions. Why don't I set, Mary, questions for Ben on this application?
Yeah, I think I need to abstain from this because I think I may have flagged these wetlands. Is that right, Ben? Is that the part of the,
You did.
Yep.
This is part of the wetlands you flagged
Yep.
many years ago.
many moons ago? So it means I'm out.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you,
Thank you.
Mary. All right, so Ben, I'd like to see the site. I haven't been over to see this, so I'm going to want to schedule a site inspection. And coordinate that with the agent and you guys. And I'm gonna hold my comments until after the site inspection. It seems pretty routine to me.
Yep.
All right, TJ, what are your thoughts on this one?
No prior questions, no.
Okay, Woody, any questions?
No, I'm good for now. Yeah, if I have any comments in the future, I'll speak up.
Okay, Mick, any questions on this? We talked about dying ash trees, Mick. They usually.
Oh my God, right? They're all over the place. I know, between ash borer and ash disease.
Yep.
No, I think a site visit would be good, Bob. I think we'll be able to wrap things up.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, Diane, any questions for Ben on this project?
Is the footprint expanding or has it just been shifted on that site plan? It looks like it was just kind of like shifted over, but it could be the same.
Yeah, it's shifted and it is enlarged a little bit. I think the kind of the first floor plan square footage is about the same, but we've added a garage. It's a little different dimension, a little bit, you know, the house isn't as wide, but it's deeper.
Yeah,
And then we added the garage on the side.
okay.
And you're outside the 50-foot buffer on all this.
Right.
Okay. Diane, anything else? Frank, any questions for Ben on this?
I don't know if it's in the plan, but what's going to happen for debris management during demolition and construction?
So he's going to have to get a demolition plan from the building inspector, a demolition permit. They'll have to have, you know, a hazardous inspection for asbestos and so on, and remove any of that if there's any present. Obviously, they'll get dumpsters and just load everything directly in dumpsters and haul it away.
Okay.
So Ben, typically, where this isn't within the buffer, within the 50-foot buffer, typically the existing driveway is what most applicants use for the dumpster or the material storage. But again, our jurisdiction is.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, the dumpster would obviously go out front.
Yeah.
The driveway is on the side, and I know a picture came up that showed it's presently a garage under. And you're right, they'll probably park the dumpsters right there, which is,
Mhm.
you know, right to where the garage is going. They'll load the dumpsters and haul them away.
Okay. All right, so team, how is everyone's schedule? I can't do anything this week, but I'm available next, Monday is the only day I'm available next week, and I'm out of town.
Sounds good to me.
So what is that? Monday is the
13.
Monday
13th.
morning.
Yeah, so does Monday morning, January 13th at 8 a.m. on the site? work for everybody?
Yeah,
Ben, does that work for you?
That works.
Okay. All right.
I have to
Ben,
leave my house a little earlier than usual, but that's okay.
Well, some of us are heading to Boston or Maine or to find warmer weather, but
There you go.
okay. So Ben, do you want to request a continuance of the public hearing until the January 21st meeting?
Yes.
Okay. All right. At the applicant's request, I'll entertain a motion to continue the public hearing to January 21st.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Hey, roll call. TJ,
Aye.
Woody,
Yes.
Nick,
aye.
Diane,
Yeah.
Frank,
Yes.
and Bob Connors vote yes. Okay, let's pray for decent weather, something above freezing.
Right.
Thank you, Ben.
All right, thank you.
Okay, next matter, continue public hearing, 286 High Road, construct an addition to existing single-family dwelling with associated utilities and expand driveway within the 100-foot buffer to the salt marsh area. Ben, is this, they've requested another continuance on this? Is it sorting through?
Yeah, they've requested another continuance.
Okay, to the January 21st meeting?
Yep.
Okay, at the applicant's request, I'll entertain a motion to continue this public hearing to our January 21st meeting.
So moved.
So moved. I'm second.
So that was TJ and Diane?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, roll call. Mary,
Yes.
TJ,
Aye.
Woody,
Yes.
Nick,
Aye.
Diane,
Yes.
Diane, okay. I didn't hear you. Give me a thumbs up.
Can you hear me now?
Oh,
Sorry.
We can hear you, we can see
I'm
you.
talking. I
Yeah.
just, it's not coming through. Mumbling.
no comment. Frank?
Haha.
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right, great. So the next matter is a continued public hearing on DEP file number 0501440 37th Street. Applicant is submitting a notice of intent to renovate their existing home, including additions and decks. Plan include a mitigation, planting plan, project narrative, and site plans. So team, if you recall, we had a site walk on this property a few weeks ago. And that was really the only issue we didn't have a site walk. So why don't I hold there? Tom, why don't you just answer questions as they arise, unless you have something you wanna
Yeah, no,
offer.
I mean, there were two things I want to follow up on. One was you had raised the issue of the 50% determination, and in checking with the architect, the appraised value or the assessed value on the assessor's card for this building is actually the highest he's ever worked with on Plum Island. It's like $1 million for the structure alone. So he's pretty confident, but we would just say if the commission would like, you could ask for a condition that, you know, prior to starting work, we provide you with that letter from the building inspector. But as you know, if the building inspector determines we don't meet the 50% standard, we'll have to come back, you know, regardless. So the other thing is with regards to placement of a generator, we still have to work out the ins and outs of how the code affects that. So if there could be a way of having a condition that we can place a generator after submitting an updated plan demonstrating, you know, showing where it will go on site. We'd like to tuck it under the deck in an area that we're not currently proposing to plant. But we're not sure if we're going to have the required distances and whether the current code allows it to go under a deck now. You used to be able to do it, but
I mean, Tom, why don't you just put it on the plan, and then if you have to do a modification.
yeah. I mean,
then
I have one that I didn't email you from the architect. I could email it right over, pull it up on the screen, and show you where we were thinking. And if I could, since that's such a minor issue, if you could accept
Well,
that.
if you
just
have
go
a,
from there.
why don't you put up the plan if you can?
Yeah, okay, give me a second
fine,
to
thank
pull it
you.
up. When I answer questions in the meantime, I've just got to get into my email and pull that up.
Okay. Mary, any questions for Tom? Following up our
I
site
have a hard
visit?
time remembering exactly where we left off
This-
on this one. If
This was,
Mason, you have a plan you could present
Yeah, sure. Let
or
me
somebody?
give me a second. Let me just get the email from Scott Brown with it right here. Okay. And I'll get back to you guys. All right. So first of all, this is the approximate location of the generator would be on the northern side under the deck. That's what the architect showed. You may recall this is an upward addition. It does have some deck replacement. Let me go to the actual NOI itself. We conducted a site visit. I think the commission wanted to put eyes on it. There were some neighbors with some concerns, and I think, you know, the neighbors attended the site walk. You may recall it's a really large lot. We're planting within this sparse area because I think it's the right thing to do, but even not including that, we have a net gain in vegetation from our planting plan. Trace through. So we've got our natural heritage letter. It's in the VE zone. It's mapped VE 16. There's only a tiny part of the lot that's under elevation 16. The entire lot is above, but it's mapped there because it's primary frontal dune. There's another view of the lot. So we are planting in here, but our mitigation is in this area. The set of stairs from the existing deck, as you saw during the site visit, brings people down here, right? So there's a lot of trampling that goes on. And then you kind of walk inartfully back and then out to the path. I'll show you again the project plan. And we are planting under decks. You may recall I pulled up photos during our first hearing showing you guys how well vegetation has survived under the existing decks. So we're confident, and that's with lattice that's there now. We're going to be removing that lattice. So this is the existing structure has all this lattice around it, and yet we have vegetation growing under here pretty well. So we're not going to have lattice on the replacement deck. And so we're pretty confident we're going to have a lot of vegetation growing under the decks as well. So here's the site plan. Really is not a lot going on outside the building footprint. We are expanding the deck on the north side, and on the east side, we're expanding it parallel to shore, but we're not getting any closer to the ocean than where it currently sticks out. And we're getting rid of that set of stairs that runs down. We're bringing people down the stairway right towards the path out to the beach. There's a good sized parking area. You know, on site, we're not needing to do anything there. There is there's some work replacing a deck with, I think there's a new addition where the deck is there. That was all staked out for the site visit. I think in the end, from a Wetland Protection Act point of view, there were really no issues remaining of any significance after the hearing. I think it was the site visit was mainly to kind of look at things, verify, and make sure that you guys weren't missing anything. At least that was my take. So with that, I guess I would put it out to you guys for questions.
Mary, any follow-up questions for Tom?
No.
And thank you, Mary. TJ, any questions for Tom on this one? Actually, TJ, you weren't at the public hearing at this, so you can't participate in this. Woody, any questions? on this?
No questions for Tom. Thanks for the presentation and the follow-up.
Hey, Mick, any questions?
Yeah, I was just a little confused on where you had proposed the generator.
Oh, okay, so the architect's drawing shows it right in this area here.
Mm-hmm.
And let me. So I'm going to email this right over to Mason in a
Okay.
second. So he's
Well-
got approximate location of new elevated generator under first floor deck.
Tom, can you just expand the reference on the plan? No, on the actual plan, the.
Oh, okay.
The title. Not on the generator.
Okay.
You know, date,
It's proposed site plan sheet A0. It's the architect's site plan.
yeah, what's the date on it though?
Uh,
Just blow it up and I'll write it down.
yeah, I think it's 12/31.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so 12/31/24. And just scroll down just a little bit.
Okay.
Proposed site plan, okay.
Which is different than your engineered plan that you had. Is a different plan.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had
no,
this.
Okay.
Right.
Just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Yeah, this plan is in as a graphic just because the architect did a nice job just kind of highlighting where all the work on the structure is because the site plan was kind of busy. So let me I just want to make sure I'm going to do this right now live. So this plan is within the notice of intent. It's just we've added that markup to it.
What I want to do is be able to consider if we want to add a reference as a special condition to the proposed location, just referencing this plan because it's not on a site plan.
Right.
Okay. Mary, anything else? Oh,
have some-
excuse me, Mick. Excuse
Yeah.
me, I meant Mick.
No, I was just trying to get a feel for where the generator was proposed to go. And I think I have a better picture of it now. No, that helps. Thank you.
Okay. Diane, any questions for Tom on this one?
No questions for Tom. I just wanted to make the point that I did look very carefully at the neighbors' submittal, and I see exactly, what their concerns are, but it seems as though from a Wetland Protection Act perspective, from a conservation perspective, they're not really doing anything that's going to be disrupting, the dunes or anything along those lines, and they do have a mitigation plan in place. But I did look at that, and I just don't think that it's something that we can really correct.
Yeah, no, we manage the resource
Yeah.
and that's what we're doing. Anything else, Diane?
Nope.
Frank, any questions for Tom on this matter?
No, thank you.
Okay. Mary, did you have any follow-up questions for Tom on this?
Oh, I think we just talked about there were helical piles. Is that what you're proposing for the deck?
So
Or the
basically
stairs?
what's shown on the site plan is H piles.
Okay.
But I still think it's a possibility during the building permit process, it may change to helical, but the architect prefers, since there's, it is velocity zone and the, even though they're decks and the existing house is going to remain on a solid foundation, he does prefer using the H piles. So that was his preference. So that's what's on the site plan.
What's an H pile? Can you?
It's an I-beam, a steel pile. A
Okay.
typical steel pile.
Okay.
You call it an H pile because if you cut a section through it,
Cross
get it
section,
from the
okay.
end, it looks like an
Yeah.
H.
Got it. Okay.
Those
Or
are
an
just,
I, or an I-beam. I mean, you could call it an I-beam too.
Yeah.
yeah, and those are just direct driven. Those are
Yeah, they're vibrated in.
vibrate.
Yeah, and when they're vibrated in, you can stand a couple feet away, and I mean, you feel the ground move a little bit, but it's
Right.
not,
Yeah.
you know, it's not ridiculous.
Okay. All right, are there any raised hands from the public at this time? Okay. Do any members have a request for additional information, plan amendment, or adding additional content to the notice of intent?
One more quick question for Tom, though. Does this require zoning or any other approvals?
Yeah, it's in front of zoning.
Okay.
It may have been, actually, I think Sue's on. Sue, what's the status of the zoning hearing?
We were given an approval by the zoning board, so now they're doing whatever paperwork they do to finish that, but we were approved by zoning.
Okay. Anything else, Mary?
No, I have some recommendations for special conditions when you get to that.
Okay, perfect.
And Mr. Chairman, I'll remind you that the natural heritage letter had conditions that they require get added
Yes.
on.
That
So
was wonderful.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second,
Okay, roll call. All in favor? Mary,
Yes.
TJ?
Do I have to abstain?
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, TJ.
Yeah.
We weren't at the public hearing.
Yeah.
Woody,
yes.
Mick,
Aye.
Diane,
Yeah.
Frank,
Yes.
and Bob Connors. Oh, cheers. All right, so this is the time we get to discuss special conditions. So it seems that we have the natural heritage letter. We have the proposed generator location. What other issues we are thinking of, Mary?
We have the building inspector.
Okay, the
certification of
50/50
the
letter.
50/50
yeah.
rule. And then I think we have our standard 2-year survival of the mitigation plantings. I don't know if we typically require annual reporting on that or not. I don't recall what the,
It would seem on a residential single lot, we probably don't, or it would seem
it just
somewhat,
would be a condition,
Yeah.
of the certificate of compliance.
the
And then,
2-year survival,
Yep.
okay.
and then any change in footings, we would be notified.
Okay. So the state building code is going to allow either the helical piles or the I-beam. And we approve both either or.
Just,
Right.
I'm just saying, they don't have to come back to us just to
Yeah, yeah.
notify us of the change,
Okay.
so we know what the plan changes.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I would just ask that you use the word pilings instead of footings. Footings might raise some eyebrows at DEP, so.
okay, well, whatever's on your notice of intent, Tom,
Right, no, but because the building code specifically prohibits the use of a footing in a dune, just,
okay.
but a piling is different. It doesn't have a foot to it. If that makes sense.
Thank you for that clarification, Mr.
Yeah.
Hughes.
I'm just trying to protect against, inadvertent appeal.
Okay, anything else that we want to add? Okay, I will entertain a motion to issue an order of conditions for 337th Street with our usual conditions. Do we have a motion?
With the other
Mhm.
conditions as well.
And the other
right?
conditions we discussed, yep.
Well, we usually do that after we vote, don't we? Just include it as
Oh, okay.
special condition. Well, whatever you
We
want
already
to do.
voted to issue an order of conditions, so I guess now we're just voting on
We're
the special
doing-
conditions.
Correct. Well, all we've done is close the public hearing at this point.
Yep.
We're voting now to issue the order of conditions, and then we'll add the special condition.
Okay.
Okay.
So move.
Let me do this. Let me reread this. This has been a long day. I don't know if it's the cold weather or the lack of sunshine that's impacting my judgment here tonight.
Wow, wow, wow.
I will entertain a motion to issue an order of conditions for 337th Street with our usual conditions and special conditions to be made.
So moved.
Who was that?
Second?
Diane, you're so quiet.
I
Thank you.
don't, maybe it's going, maybe it's my, I don't know.
Very, very
I,
quiet.
I hear you fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so on the special conditions, we're going to reference the natural heritage letter. The proposed generator location will be referenced by a proposed site plan, a proposed site plan AO dated 12/31/24, just to give us a location. We're requiring a 50/50 letter from ISD and a 2-year survival rate on planting. Anything else? Okay,
It's 2 growing season, just to clarify, in the two
Okay.
years.
okay. Okay, roll call, all in favor. Mary,
Yes,
TJ. Up, TJ
Oh, he
can't vote
can't.
on this. Woody,
still can't.
Still can't vote.
your name just shows up on my list here too many
Yeah.
times, too, so. I'm on autopilot at this time of night. Mick,
Yes.
Diane,
Yes.
Frank,
Yes.
and Bob Connors votes yes.
Thank you very
Okay.
much. Have a great night.
Good luck with your
Alright.
project, Sue. Seems like a good one.
Okay, Mason, you've got that. I got notes here on what those special conditions are. Are you all set with the special conditions on this one?
Yep, yeah, I got
Mason?
them down.
Okay, okay. All right, couple of discussions. We have a general project discussion on DEP is permitting the repaving project at the town boat launch. You want to give us a little update on that?
Yeah, so DPW had reached out and they're planning on repaving the town boat launch, and they want to do it pretty much to the beginning of the dock right here. So within the next couple of weeks, they'll be coming in, likely with an RDA for this, to try and get this project completed.
Okay, are they expanding the paved area or is it just,
Nope,
Maintaining
no expansion,
existing.
just repaving everything that's existing.
okay,
Have they discussed this with DEP already? Because there is an exemption for this.
They have not, I don't think.
Okay, because if they're in the riverfront area, they should be exempt if they're repaving existing paved areas.
Okay.
So, I could send you the citation and you can, if you want to confirm with DEP or anything.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
okay. So Mary, I guess what we can actually do is they're not required to come in for an RDA where they've been exempt.
They should be exempt. I think,
Yeah.
under my reading of it.
Well, you know what? Why don't they come in as an RDA, Mason, and then what we can do is we have a negative finding because it's exempt work, then they're done. That's good for 3
Either
years.
way, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay, there was also late today, a lot of things came in late today, team. The NOI for the lock and dam removal came in today. It wasn't in the Dropbox, but FYI, are they trying to get on the January 21st? meeting?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So I'll be creating a January 21st file and I'll be adding that in there. So other than that, any other staff reports, Mason?
No, I think that's all.
Okay. TJ, any pearls of wisdom you want to add to the Newbury Conservation Commission on this frosty Tuesday night? Woody, how about you? Any final comments?
Stay warm, everyone.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Mary, how about you? You
Good.
Frank,
No.
any comments on that?
Yeah, do we know when that paving is going to be started? That's where I put my boat into the water.
Yeah, and hopefully they're gonna try and do it late winter and before,
If you own a boat, you may have to recuse yourself, Frank.
Oh, is that right?
Uh-oh, we just lost a quorum.
Uh-oh.
I don't know of any bid plants that are running right now. Do you, Bob?
No, if they are, they're pretty expensive, but
Yeah, you're not gonna
You
get,
got
you're not
frost,
gonna
Andy.
get bid till,
there's probably 12 inches of frost in the ground by now.
yeah, you're not gonna get bid till March or April.
Yeah.
Mason, do you know on that project, are they gonna scour out any of the existing pavement, or are they just gonna pave right over?
I haven't talked with them yet, specifics of the project. It was just kind of introduced to me, so I want
Yeah.
to kind of put it on everyone's radar.
Cool. All right.
Diane, any final comments?
Nope.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All right, roll call, all in favor? Mary, TJ,
Yep.
Woody.
Yes.
Aye,
Lynn,
aye,
Yep,
aye.
yep,
Diane,
yep,
Bob
yep, yep.
Connors,
Yes.
Thank you.
7:06 PM.
Not
Good
bad.
job.
All right,
Good night,
thanks,
everyone.
guys.
Great.
Adios.
You all, good
Thanks,
job, Bob.
everybody.